Hello, beautiful creatives. Thank you for joining me. As we continue our journey through Japan, I wanted to do a journal study influenced by tea ceremonies in Japan and continue our reflections on the concept of Wabi Sabi. So Beth Kempton writes, Wabi Sabi is a state of the heart. It is a deep in-breath and a slow exhale. It is felt in a moment of real appreciation, a perfect moment in a perfect world. I think we can all reflect on this idea. If we open our hearts and minds and stay present, we will find these little beauties in life and in our artwork. So when I think of a tea ceremony in Japan, it is a way of connecting or gathering people, a way for people to escape their day-to-day life and chaos and enjoy the company of others. So whether it's a tea ceremony that we experience this through, or just a gathering of a small group, or just having time alone to reflect, I think it's really important for us all to escape technology and, our work, our routine, our family, just to take a moment to be present. So the act of making tea does not have to be complicated, but in Japan, they have taken a simple concept of making tea and made it feel so special. It's almost like an art for others to appreciate and enjoy. So in Japan, we will feel the connection to nature. We can feel it in the gardens surrounding the cities that allow people to have a quiet escape, the bathhouses, the natural fibers used in their utensils and cookware, the ceramics you drink your tea out of. You can really feel that connection to nature, which almost acts as an escape or to allow you to be present. Let's use this inspiration and guidance in our lives and in our art journals today. So staying present, having an open heart, and embracing these imperfections in ourselves and others and in our artwork, because these imperfections are what make us all beautiful and unique, but both as artists and as people. So I think we can really take that to heart as we move forward with this journal study. So we're going to get started on the journal. I've already clear gessoed my page, so if you haven't done that already, go ahead. And once this is dry, we are going to block in with ink or Sharpie or marker and write some words on the page. So I'm going to write a quote from Beth's book, but you can write your own thoughts in reflection to this. You can write song lyrics. Just put something on the paper, and then don't worry about someone else reading it. We're going to be able to collage and paint all over it. So I'm going to speed this up as I write. So you guys, I went ahead with ink and I started writing really quickly. Then I used my Sharpie, I used my pencil, I used my charcoal. The point is, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're talking about imperfection. This is just getting thoughts down on the paper, give you a little bit more depth and feeling to your pieces, and make you kind of reflect and think about a concept. If we're not studying Japan or Wabi Sabi, you could take a quote from a book that really inspires just a journal spread. So it gives you an idea of how you can start. So I've already kind of picked my color palettes. I created these kind of based on the tea ceremony. So I picked, a lot of times they have matcha or green tea in the Japanese tea ceremony. So I used kind of a green tone, and then I wanted to really bring in kind of this beautiful Charvin green of Nice color, and then balance it out with a complementary color of the hot pink, which kind of has that feel of the cherry blossoms. And then this really pretty, flesh ochre or light orange color that to me kind of feels like earth, and it feels like possibly a vessel that you'd be drinking out of for a tea ceremony. And then your contrast, I think it's always good to have a really dark contrast. I have my dark green in here, as well as like a black, and then the whites to kind of to bring out more contrast. So it's a good way to kind of come up with a mini color study or composition before you get to your journal, so you kind of have these colors already selected. I have my acrylics all here. These are all lined up, and I'm going to put them on my palette. But using different materials really gives depth to a piece, especially in mixed media. So I've got pastels over here. I'm going to use neo colors, which are water soluble and move around. I have a smoky quartz ink that I love from Edelstein, and you know, my Higgins, my black ink, as well as some gorgeous Arteza metallic watercolors that I think are going to be really pretty in here. And again, just some more pastels over here. So I'm going to speed this up. I'm going to put some collage papers down. The best way to put these down is you can use clear gesso, which I use often because it has that tooth and grittiness, and I love that feeling when I put it down. You can use Yes paste, which is a flat glue. You can, I mean, just use an old-fashioned glue stick is fine if you don't have many materials at home yet. So that's a great way to adhere the collages papers down. So I'm going to speed this up again. Okay, everyone, so now that I have my collage papers down, I put some, pretty rice papers in, some that kind of are a little bit transparent so you can see the words underneath, and then just some other lettering with scroll work. I've printed out some pictures from my Pinterest board of just tea ceremony, things that reflect Wabi Sabi to me. Here you can see that someone's pouring some tea. Here's some beautiful colors of matcha. These single vases have been really inspiring to me and kind of represent that whole concept of Wabi Sabi, of just that imperfect vase and really bringing this nature element in and the simplicity of it. A woman drinking tea. So I'm going to pepper in a couple more of these along with my collage papers, and then maybe draw some of these vines with ink in the background to add a little bit more depth. So once again, I'm going to speed this up, and then after that, we're going to start adding some of our colors. So you can see here, I've added some more collage elements, and I got started on putting in some of my acrylics. So I stuck with my color palette. I started with the watercolors, went to the acrylics. I went in, you can see that when I add water, some of that charcoal moved around, which I don't mind at all in the writing, but I did want some of these kind of vine looking plant things to stay a little bit. So I did go over those in permanent ink, and it looks messy at this point, and I'm going to really tone it down, layer it afterwards with putting some white gesso. You can put it on with either a credit card or this wonderful tool, which will kind of make it a little bit transparent so you can see what's underneath. And then I'm going to keep adding some rice paper layers. And then some pastels at the top, and then probably right over again. And the idea here is to show you that there's lots and lots of layers, but it's okay to be messy, to get to this point where it's messy, because you can kind of tone it down and fine tune your design afterwards. And this goes for mixed media pieces as well, or large abstract pieces. So I'm gonna speed it up again. Thanks, guys. Okay, everyone, so I had a picture that I really loved of someone drinking tea, but it got so dark, it was hard to even see what she was doing. So I just ripped it off the page, and I put this black and white one in here. Just I thought it would really pop, and I'm gonna, after the paint dries, I'm gonna go in with details with my pen and maybe change the color of her kimono here, add some modern patterning possibly, and then go over the whole piece once the paint is dry with some more pastels, and then kind of a full whitewash, paint over it to kind of wash out and tone down kind of the busyness of this all. So just gives you an idea that, sometimes you have an idea, and then as you're working through it, it just doesn't work. So, don't be afraid to rip it off, cover it up with acrylics, and start over. All right, thanks. Okay, everyone, I think I'm pretty happy with these results. It's always good to sit on pieces for a little bit and, slowly add, just a few more details with your pastels or your pen. But I really like the feel of this and where it went. As you can see here in my color study, I originally had some hot pink in it. I felt like for this piece it was kind of distracting, so I did end up just kind of taking that out slowly as I built the layers. But you can just build and build upon the layers, and it's just fun to play and see where your results end up. That's the beauty of journaling, is it can be for you. It's about the process more than it is the final product. So I'm going to leave you with one last quote from Beth Kempton's book, Wabi Sabi. "The imperfect path your heart guides you along is the perfect path for you." Thank you.